All right.
Test.
I was just about to go.
Oh, whoops. Messed it up already.
Yeah. Test. Welcome back to another episode of With the Chiefs. Today, we are lucky to be joined again by Sota Maehara.
Fourth time
on the podcast.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's a record, isn't it?
That is a record.
Yeah.
Who else? Oh, I think Matt Gore's 3.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Or Alex Shaw twice.
Yep.
Who else?
Don't know. Let me get
Tobias twice.
Tobias twice. We've been on a few times.
Yeah, you do like what, 97 times? This is 98 times.
Took a while for the penny to drop on that one, Dom.
Rosa Smith twice.
Rosa Smith twice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, good to be back on.
Yeah. Actually, I got an intro. Hang on. Sota is a talented runner, videographer, and photographer who documents his... It feels weird doing the intro because we just ruined the flow. Anyway. Who documents his running adventures in Sydney and around the world. He has personal bests of 15:40 in the 5K, 32:42 in the 10, and 3:11:39 in the 50K. That's on your Strava.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you got that from.
What was that one for?
Wings for Life. Dom would know about it, but yeah, it's a good race. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
like,
really quick though for 50k.
What's that average pace?
If I'm not mistaken, you've done 3:09. It's like 3:49.
Yeah,
3:11.
right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And to add to the list of accomplishments, yesterday, Sota completed a solo time trial of the Bondi to Manly race.
Yeah, the race
course. Yep.
Yeah.
In 6 hours 34 minutes, which is rapid. So we got Sota on to chat about that and also what he's been up to since the last time you're on the show.
It has been a while since I've been on.
It was for Backyard Ultra we were chatting about.
Was it? Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
We did an episode about that. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. Always good to have a chat with you two because, there's like not really much planned, but we just kind of talk about whatever, right?
Yeah. Well,
it's good fun.
Got a bit of an agenda.
Okay, that's good. That's a bit of a change.
We've got a bit of an agenda. We're going to talk about Bondi to Manly.
Yeah.
Your race prep.
Yeah.
Nutrition, taper week. Bit about your YouTube.
Cool.
Stuff like that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, how are you? How was your last week, and how are you feeling after the race? Maybe go into that.
Taper week's always a weird one for me. I've never really nailed a taper week in my opinion. So I want to get your thoughts as well on like what your experience with tapering is. I feel like a lot of runners don't really do well with tapers.
Yeah.
But it's always an interesting one. But yeah, right now my legs feel obviously quite sore, but apart from that, I'm still walking quite fine. I did photography for Sydney Harbour 10 this morning, which is fun, spectating a little as well. But I think my shin is a little bit dodgy right now, and I knew it was coming because during the taper week, I did feel it a bit in the shin.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
Yeah. What about you guys? What's your training be like?
I haven't been doing much. I'm back into it this week.
Yeah.
What have I been doing? Well, I was out at the race today. I did a bit of a workout with Chris. He did 2x10k, so I did tempo 10k, and then I spectated. It was good. It was super windy.
Yeah, very windy.
I feel sorry for anyone trying to run a PB out there today. Yeah.
I heard the second half of the race was quite hard because of a lot of wind and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess the field spread apart, so a few of my friends were like solo grinding out there. So,
Yeah.
But yeah,
should we do our training weeks or I don't know?
Yeah, that's what I thought we should do first.
We're out of practice. All right, so I'll go through. Do you want me to go through mine?
Yeah, Luke's always first.
It's like your first time podcasting.
I'll just Excuse me. All right, I've got my training week here on the beautiful espresso display. Gives you more screen real estate. This week was probably the first week that I'm back in a proper rhythm after the marathon. I did do a session the week before that, but I still wasn't feeling like 100%. So this week I was at Gore Hill for the session on Tuesday. We did 4 lap, 2 lap, 2 lap, 1 lap times 2 with I think it was 90 seconds. 90 seconds between the laps and 2 minutes between the sets, which was a pretty good workout. I feel like I'm back to trying to go out really hard and then like fall off the back. I made the mistake of trying to stick with Matt Gore, which doesn't always go well, but it was good to be back. I felt like it was really like moved out of that threshold zone and more into VO2 max. I know you've been doing a bit of stuff with threshold, which I want to ask about after, but
for sure.
It was good. And then MLR
Back to normal after the marathon, or?
I feel like, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or if it's like, I don't know, I feel like I've lost a bit of fitness, but I know I probably haven't lost like heaps, but it just feels like even a week or 2 weeks of getting out of the rhythm, you kind of have to like get back into it. Obviously ran the marathon as well, so there's fatigue. But yeah, what was your question?
How are you feeling?
Okay, yeah. No, I'm keen to get, because I want to go do a bit of a run into Sydney Half maybe.
Yeah, nice.
So, but there's not heaps of time.
It's probably a bit of time. That's what, September sometime?
Yeah, it's a month then a bit still.
Okay.
Yeah. That's plenty of time to get pretty fit. I mean, all the marathon training is going to carry on as well. Like, obviously you need to recover a little, but once you're back in the groove, you'll probably pick up where you left off, and then you'll run a good half, I reckon.
Yeah, hopefully. So
any 5Ks coming up?
No,
that's always a spicy. I love it. Yeah.
5K.
Probably. I mean, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to do like a roads pipe run or something. Yeah. Maybe in a few weeks, once like back into doing training, that could be an idea. Would you like to join for a...
I can't. I'm actually going overseas.
You're going away. Yeah, you're going away.
When do you leave?
This Friday. Last minute podcast. Yeah.
All right, let me power through. What did I do on... I'll just mention the sessions. Friday, I did 8 by 1K, threshold off 60 seconds. I felt like just another staple to get back into it.
Do you jog the recoveries or...
No, I did a Gore Hill and then I walked just... Once you go through the K marker, then I walk back. Once again, probably went out a bit too hard.
That looked alright. I thought it was pretty steady, wasn't it?
Pretty steady, but I felt like I just dipped into like the last 3 reps, just pushing a little bit hard, but still not like too crazy. So it was good. And then Sunday, today, as I said, out at doing a bit of workout and spectating, stuff like that.
So still 3 workouts in a week after Gordy. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I guess
a lot of
people
would take a few more weeks chill, right? I think,
I think like after previous marathons, I felt like a lot more zapped. I feel like just having more training experience and like doing a lot of those bigger long runs in the training block, I feel like after 3 weeks, I could sort of maybe safely get back to training. But hopefully I'm not pushing it too much. I did feel a little bit of tension in my shin today, but nothing major. So just planning to keep the same rhythm.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. What about you, Don? What about you, Don? What's happening?
Yes, this week felt like it was more like back to normal after marathon. I felt like the previous few weeks hadn't been running much and was just chilling. But on Monday I ran the commute in the afternoon, so I left my car at work. And
you're back to...
home. Yeah, which is fun. I like doing that. And then the next
one... But you've moved now, so how long is that commute?
It's only like 10Ks.
Okay,
or 11Ks.
Because it used to be like 15 or something? Or?
Yeah, it was like 17. I did it like a couple of times and I was just like, this is too much. But yeah, even still, like 10 or 11Ks is a lot. And I felt like I was just really tired for the rest of the week. Like, but yeah, that was Monday. And then, so Tuesday did that in the morning and then went to Turbo in the afternoon. Turbo session was we did a 10-minute effort at the start, and then a couple of 200s. I think after Matt's Gore episode when he was saying I haven't done much speed work in a while, I was like, I haven't done much speed work either. So we did 10 by 200 as well after the 10-minute effort.
Is that your initiative?
It's always my initiative.
Okay.
But yeah, that was good. It was good to be running a bit quicker. And then the rest of the week was pretty chill, I think. Like, just jogging around. I think I might have had a rest day in there. Then the weekend, it's been a pretty big weekend. Yesterday I went down to Cooper Park. It's like one of the only areas in the east where there's actually proper trails, but it's only like a 2K loop.
It's in Bondi Junction, right?
Yeah, kind of like near Bondi Junction.
Yeah, really close,
So I did 5 laps of that, and then there's like a nice set of stairs as well at the top of the lap. So I did like 3 of those stairs and then did a lap and did that 5 times. And then today went and got out on the Sydney ultramarathon course, and just tried to run as much of it as possible. I was planning on running the whole thing, but kind of knew that's going to be a bit much. So I got to
34 or something, did I see?
Yeah, like 38 Ks.
Oh, 38. Yeah.
Wow. So it was just the last like bob and head loop that I missed out on, which I've done before. So now I've like seen pretty much the whole course, which is good.
Yeah, it helps a lot to do all that. For training for a trail race, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%.
Same with the Bondi to Manly course that I did. Yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Yeah,
it was.
Bit of brain fog still.
Still in a brain fog, but I feel like it helped a lot that I checked out the course recently as well, so I know what parts of the course are not open, or like if there's like mud in the trail and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, true.
It's good to know what's coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I think like, especially like today, I was like running like, oh shit, am I going the right way? Like checking my phone so much to make sure I was taking the right turns and everything. So it'd be good on race day to just have a bit more confidence and just send it. But yeah, that was it. 115 Ks for the week.
Well, what are your thoughts on the course?
Yeah, how's it looking?
Course?
Fast or slow or?
Oh, it's pretty tough. Like the first half is pretty like fast. Like it's just fire trail pretty much. And it's kind of like 2 different sections because you go up over to Monavale Road and you have to cross Monavale Road.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and then so that whole side is like all pretty much like fire trail. And then once you go back over onto the other side, it's more like single track, which is kind of interesting, kind of tests like different skills. And it's tricky because you're pretty tired after all the single trail. It's like steep up hills and downhills the whole time. And then by the time you get onto the more technical stuff, you're already pretty exhausted.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be a good challenge. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, good competition as well. Alex has done well to get like quite a good field up, right?
Do you know? Yeah, I think so. Do you know many of the other runners?
Well, the main ones are like Joey and stuff, right? That's been on the Instagram,
Yeah. Joey, and then some of the girls' field is really strong too.
Yeah. I think Beth McKenzie, who won ETA.
Yeah. And then
that'll be good.
The other girl that like races all the time.
Yeah, I'm having a brain fog. Is it Sam Austin or something?
Yeah, it's Steph Austin.
Oh, Steph Austin, yeah.
She's a gun, I think did she win Bondi to Manly?
I think so, yeah. She's won quite a few other races as well.
Yeah,
some big ones.
She wins all the time and races all the time, just smashes it,
Yeah.
But yeah, it should be good.
For sure, yeah. My week's been pretty boring, so yeah. I might touch on more detail later, but I actually felt a bit of a niggle last Friday, which is like 8 days out from the Bondi to Manly that I did yesterday, but it was shin splints on the opposite side to where I recently had it earlier this year. So it's like a compensatory thing, I think. Been landing a bit harder on my right because my initial injury is on the left. But yeah, I know what shin splints feels like, and I know when it's coming now. And yeah, it felt a bit risky to run on it, but I did like a few runs. I cut my long run short last week, but yeah, I realized on Monday that it's not really getting better, so I took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, tested it on Thursday for like a 4K run, didn't feel the best, and Friday as well, like shake out the night before, I only did like 2K or something, but I felt it then as well, so I knew that I was going to feel it this run.
What does it feel like?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to explain because when it's not fully shin splints yet, it's just like that weird tight feeling in the calf, more specifically on the inside, like closer to the midline. The medial side is the proper term, but yeah, and it's on where the tibialis posterior attaches to the shin bone. But yeah, if you had it once or twice, like you know the feeling. It's not necessarily pain, but yeah, it's like this tight pulling sensation on the bone. But yeah, I just knew that it would mess it up, and it kind of did after doing the Bondi. But
Yep.
yeah, I'll have to see how it plays out in the next week or two. I'm planning on taking a good few days off and seeing how it goes. Yeah.
So does it just get, when it gets bad, like really tight? To the
It
point
gets
where-
tight. No, when it's like when you properly aggravate it, it's pain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But when it's like about to come on,
You know, okay.
yeah, you know because of the slight tightness. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So it obviously progresses from like no pain but a bit of tightness to proper pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I feel the proper pain now. So
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
How did you manage it last time?
Yeah, I tried to run through it for the first bit, but it just wasn't getting better, so I thought I might as well rest it up, and
Yeah.
ended up going like 61 days. I kind of counted, but that many days. Not completely off because the first month was on and off, but the second month completely off
Yeah, right.
until it got better. Yeah.
Hmm.
So there's not much you can do apart from strengthening it once it's not aggravated, and also just taking time off. Yeah.
What's the go-to strength is calf?
Anything that strengthens the plantar flexors. So
Really?
yeah. So lots of calf raises. Isometrics are good, I think. Yeah, and even the inversion with a resistance band. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Just more like ankle sort of strength stuff.
Yeah. Because the muscle that I said earlier, posterior tibialis, that attaches to the inside of the medial side of the shin bone.
Yep.
And that's responsible for inverting the ankle. So if you search ankle inversion on Google, you'll see the movement, and you can put resistance using a band by tying it on the sofa or something, and you can strengthen that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, apparently that helps. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about the taper week or
Yeah,
as in
well-
what yeah.
I guess so. I felt that pain and didn't do too much, but I knew that I wasn't gonna get any more fitness from a week out. So I wasn't too fussed about taking 3 days off. I went to the physio on Wednesday, which was the third day I had off in a row, which I don't usually do. Obviously all of us kind of run pretty much every day. I might have a rest day every 2 or 3 weeks, but it felt weird having 3 days off in a row, but kind of had to do it. And I got a bit of soft tissue massage, but I realized that massages aren't really good before or even after a race, in my opinion, if they're digging in very, very deep. And I feel like a soft tissue massage where they don't push down too hard is a lot better.
Yeah, okay.
'Cause I made it clear I don't want to go too crazy on the pressure, because I didn't want to make it feel even worse than it already did. But bit of pressure is nice, but just not too much.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Apart from that, taper was just carving up a lot. But typically I feel like runners are kind of used to a certain workload in a week, and as soon as you bring that down a bit, I don't know why, but a lot of runners seem to suffer and kind of either get sick or they start to feel these niggles or something and stuff.
Yep.
I think there was a bit of research done about serotonin levels or something, where you get that runner's high when you're running a lot all the time, but when you start to taper off the mileage, you're not getting as much of that serotonin, and you happen to feel a bit more of these small niggles and stuff. I think there was a study on that, but I think that's what all of us runners feel on taper week, and you start to feel stuff that you didn't really feel beforehand. Yeah.
Absolutely. You definitely notice that. And I feel like, that's kind of your baseline is you're running every day. And then when you stop doing that, it's I don't know, serotonin, or I don't know if there's hormone changes or stuff like that.
Yeah, that
But-
probably is. Yeah.
I wonder how
idea.
much you're stressing about the race plays into it as well.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Just thinking about it constantly, brooding over it for a week.
Yeah, because I've never really been super nervous about a race, but I think no matter whether you're nervous or not, I always think about the race and try and analyze and plan how to tactically play it and all that sort of stuff. And even if you're not nervous, I think you overthink about that, and plays a bit of a factor.
In taper week, like every single run, I'm kind of like looking at my heart rate, or like I'm just like, am I as fit as I think, or like it just start like head noise sort of elevates to a new level.
Yeah. I was doing 5:30s. I should have been doing 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've doing 5. My heart rate's 124 when I'm running. It's like it should. Normally, it's like
I feel like taper week workout is always stressful as well.
Oh,
You're like, oh crap, I need to hold this pace for like a marathon or a half marathon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not meant to be a hard workout, so you shouldn't be getting in your own head. But you just overanalyze and you're like, wow, I only did that for 400 meters, but I have to do it for like 10 times the length or whatever.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think for Hocker, like I got the, I was running with, I think it was Josh who called it like the phantom flu or something. And I was like, that seems pretty accurate, because it's like, I was like, oh, am I getting sick? And you just like feel low energy, or I did at least leading into Hocker. And just, I don't know. It's like, I can't explain it realistically, because you feel, for the most part, it feels like that when you get in that fatigue mode of training, and sometimes you're like a little bit foggy and stuff like that, say after a long run. Kind of, I've had that in Hocker leading up to the race for like that whole week, and I'm just stressing. But then when you get towards the, I don't know, in that experience, when I got towards the race, I kind of felt a little bit better.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like the stressing about all the metrics, and thinking back on training, have I done enough? Like then thinking about the race. Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of just accept it as a natural part of it. Otherwise, you'd freak out.
Well, I think now that I've done so many races, I've realized that like you don't need to overthink as much. I do still overthink though before races, but yeah, I've had really unideal taper weeks and raced well as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think trying to remember that on taper week is important. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the awareness of being like, this is just taper week.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a little bit stressed. But you didn't get the phantom flu. You got the flu. And you still ran 2:30.06.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the key.
Yeah. But like, I think, it was almost like good to just accept, okay, like I'm going to get sick, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the stress was kind of relieved once I started getting sick. It's like, okay.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I got pretty negative. But yeah.
That's such a good, just to turn it around on its head. Just absolutely smash it.
Yeah.
What are you normally thinking about in taper week? Or
Oh yeah, it's stressful. Like, and I think being stressed like tires you out. Like,
It does. That negative spiral of emotions in your head, like when you can't get out of that spiral, it sucks. Yeah.
Cool.
But
real uplifting.
I think like, I don't know, from the past, I feel like you do need to taper though. I've had like races where I didn't taper and I definitely didn't perform as well. And I think like the risk of you not performing well, like maybe you can do it and like every now and then you'll pull it off, but I think tapering like kind of guarantees that you're gonna perform decently.
Yeah. I mean, it has been scientifically proven. I think.
Oh right,
It has. Yeah,
it makes sense. Yeah.
Reducing load, etc.
Yeah. Although I heard there's one Japanese athlete called Joe Fukuda who does this thing called a reverse taper. Like before Wings for Life, he actually did like 130 Ks in the 6 days leading up to his.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I think he did like 69 Ks in the Wings for Life. So he did 130 Ks and then 69 K the day after
That's
that.
nuts.
You're kidding.
Yeah. But he's also done reverse taper and like royally blew up as well. So like it doesn't always work for him, but it's pretty interesting to see when it does work for him. Like he literally increases his mileage before a race, which is crazy. Yeah. But don't listen to that advice.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be doing any reverse tapers.
Yeah.
But, is it? I assume he runs big mileage.
Yeah, he normally does. Yeah.
Just in general.
But he just runs like more on race week sometimes.
Race week. Yeah. Interesting. He's run real quick at Gold Coast.
Yeah, he's run quick, but he's blown up a lot as well. Yeah. Like he's done 209, and then the year after he's done 228, 225 or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the year after he won. Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like when you're at that level in the marathon, when you blow up, hard. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
definitely.
Just a fine margin.
Yeah.
But What about like tapering for different races? Like, would you taper differently for a 5K compared to a marathon, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't quite taper as much for a 5K, I think. But, you know, when it's starting to become half marathon and ultras, I think you really need a taper. Like, you want to be as fresh as possible on your legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have done what I did yesterday if I carried on my regular training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the ideal taper? You're still doing a session a few days out, or
Not really for Bondi and Manly. I think it's slow enough race because the fastest split that I ran was like 3:58. So you don't need to be quick or sharp at all. It's more like
for a half maybe.
Yeah,
You're
for a
doing
half,
something
100%.
very
I
different.
think a half's still very quick, you know. So I think there is benefit to doing a session, like a taper week session.
Yeah.
But yeah, and for a 5K, I might taper the last like 4 days leading up to the race. But yeah, for a half and marathon, maybe more like a week to week and a half or 2 weeks even.
Yeah.
But ultra is definitely like a 2 week taper, I reckon. Yeah. And yeah, that's just like gradually lowering the mileage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for this one night of Manly thing, I think I did 108 Ks 2 weeks out.
Yep.
Or 3 weeks out? I don't know. Yeah, and then 1 week out. I don't know how the terminology works, but yeah, I basically did 108 Ks, 80 Ks, and then like 7 Ks
Yeah.
on race week, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So quite an aggressive deload, but I was kind of forced to deload
With your
last week, with the niggle, yeah.
But I don't think it would have made that much of a difference.
Yeah. I think the original plan was like 5K a day or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of segues in. How was the training block?
Yeah. So I actually didn't have a huge amount of time to train for it because as I touched on earlier in this episode, I did have an injury earlier this year. So I did like a 100K run in Japan, and I carried on running without resting after that, which is pretty stupid. Like I did a 5K race at Turbo. Oh yeah, you were there.
Oh, yeah.
It was you, me, and Ian.
That's right, but you were like just off the plane. Like,
Yeah. Got off the plane back from Japan from a 100K run.
Yeah,
But
far out. That was nice.
yeah, I basically did the 100K run, and then I took 1 day off, but after that I went back to training, did like a 28K run as well, like a few days after. And
was
then,
the
the
logic?
5K race as well.
We were just like,
Well,
let's just keep it going.
My muscles weren't sore at all.
Right, okay.
But I realized that my joints were a little dodgy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I was stupid for running through it. But it was just a flat course and then uphill. And you know how you only get sore when there's a lot of downhill? So I just felt fresher than I thought. And I was just like, oh, maybe I'll carry on training. But yeah, in hindsight, I should have rested a bit. Because it doesn't... Just because your muscles are fine, it doesn't mean you're ready to just go back to normal training.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the 5K should have been an indicator. Like I ran 16:45 or something like that.
Yeah, true.
Like I shouldn't be running that if I was proper, fresh, and recovered. So, yeah. But I think that was the last one I did before I realized I was injured. Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
But yeah, so that was in January, and then I took like 2 months off. So yeah, that was late January, sorry. So end of March / early April was when I first started getting back into running. So I only had almost 4 months of training until this, which I guess is a fair amount of time, but I also had to build up from zero, basically, like taking 2 months off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what were you
much.
doing with your time and to get through those 2 months?
Yeah, made some new friends that don't run. Yeah, and then I started hiking a little, swimming a little bit at Balmoral Beach.
Nice.
But yeah, I totally gave up on running for 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like? Were you like?
Yeah, it was tough because as much as it's important to have a life outside of running, like I fully admit that a lot of my life is, running oriented.
100%.
So it's a bit tough when I can't. But I still tried to do a bit of photography and keep myself occupied. But it was definitely not easy.
Did you adapt after? Would you say you adapted after a few weeks or?
I did, yeah. I think once I made a few friends that don't run as much or don't run at all, it kind of helped a bit to take my mind off of it. And yeah, I guess came back to running, and then I signed up for a Sydney Trail Half, organised by 180 Cadence, and surprisingly it wasn't like a deep field, so I won it even though I wasn't that fit. Like honestly, if anyone else rocked up, like if Dom came, he would have slipped me. Yeah, like I had no fitness. Yeah. So that was a surprise win. And yeah, I guess it gave me a bit of confidence, even though I knew that it wasn't like a deep field. But
Yeah.
good first race back to kind of get into the groove. And then I raced terribly at Canberra Marathon or half marathon.
Oh, right.
Yeah, well, I knew I wasn't gonna do well, but I was like, oh, maybe I'll just try and hang on for as long as possible with who I normally would
Yeah.
be with, and that didn't turn out well.
You still did alright though. What was?
Oh no, I think I blew up at 8K, and then I just like jogged it in with
Oh, okay.
other people. Yeah. Because I had plenty of friends there who were around, so
Yeah.
I decided to not really help them out, but more like give them company.
Yeah.
I wasn't pacing them or anything, but yeah.
What was the turnaround from the trail half?
I wasn't sure that much. Yeah.
Oh, right. Was it the next week or?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
the week
shit.
after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So yeah, pretty intense 2 weeks back from injury.
Jeez,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I would have been stressing like,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm back.
But I didn't actually do too many workouts or anything. I just started off with jogs and then slowly introduced like threshold, which you can talk about later.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like the double threshold that I experimented with, I think I did 4 weeks in a row of it. That helped quite a bit because I stayed really, really sensible with it. Like I was running paces that, I don't think I would have been disciplined enough to run before. And
Did you say 4 months? You did that for 4 months?
No, 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
4 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Because I was running like 330s, 340s even.
Yeah.
Obviously, if I'm in top shape, I wouldn't want to be running that slow in workouts, but I just stuck to where I was at that current time. And
What was your
yeah.
inspiration? Or why did you start following that?
I forgot why. I mean, I've always seen a lot of YouTube videos, and obviously the Norwegians doing it.
Yeah.
But
Like everyone's harping on about it.
Yeah.
So I just want to see if the hype was real, and it's a good time to experiment when you're coming back from injury to see what works and what doesn't. So yeah, I just tried it out, like longer threshold workout in the morning and then shorter reps in the afternoon. It's like 400 reps in the afternoon, and
What's longer?
yeah, like 6 minutes, miles,
Sure.
2Ks. Shortest I'd go was 1K. But
So
yeah,
even
really
in
slow.
those
Yeah.
6 minute, 5 minute mile, you're still running slow, like slower than in that.
Yeah, I was doing like 340s
340s.
something to start
Yeah,
off
okay.
with, yeah. And the afternoon shorter reps, I was probably doing 335, 330s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
not
keeping
that
a
much
really
quicker.
disciplined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did like no speed work for a while, yeah. But I think there is still a time and place for speed work, like,
Yep.
because I feel like the faster you are at speed, it builds more leeway when you're doing the marathon. Like 325s in a marathon is going to feel a lot easier if you can run like even a 240 in a kilometer if you're doing 1 kilometer, you know?
Yeah.
Like you build that buffer if you have that speed, and your form will probably be more efficient if you know how to run a 240 kilometer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so still a time and place for speed for sure.
Yeah.
But I usually try and get that through strides rather than like a speed session.
Yep.
But I think once in a while doing a 200
Oh, yeah.
session or something, that's pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like,
But not too often. I get cooked from the speed sessions.
yeah. I think like unless you're targeting like a 1500 or something,
Yeah.
like you don't really need to do it that often.
Yeah. I never even hit that top speed anyway in any of my races. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
But I think it is good to touch on every now and then. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
Otherwise you just lose it.
Yeah, I reckon strides are good. Like
Yeah, strides is good.
yeah, at the end of the run.
Yeah.
Bit of an incline as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the double threshold stuff, it looked like there was a couple of like big sort of mileage weeks as well. Was that
Yeah.
around that time or?
Yeah, roughly. That was like the start of the big mileage weeks. But yeah, I kind of progressed pretty nicely, like quite linearly. Didn't really have any huge jumps. But yeah, I think I did eventually, in the peak, like 3 weeks where I did 133 Ks, 120 Ks, 139 Ks. I started focusing on elevation a bit. So I dropped down the threshold workouts a bit to like once a week or twice a week max. And then I did more elevation, like 1 hour of jogging up and down Owaba Street, which is one of the steepest hills in Sydney.
Yeah.
That's where Balmoral Burn happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I did more trail running as well. A lot more running on the course too.
Yep.
And I actually did those 3 weeks in a row of, I called it the triple long run weekend. and I did that 3 weeks in a row. So I did
Triple long run weekend.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Sounds
Oh.
hectic.
Long run, yeah.
Jeez.
And they were all like at least 18k, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
One of them was in the Blue Mountains, the other one was in Brisbane, and the last week where I did 139k's was in Sydney, but I did like a 47k run on the Bondi to Manly course.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, all 3 weeks I had quite a long run for one of them, and the other two were like mid long, I guess.
Still, yeah, doing like back
Yeah.
to back to back. So.
Yeah, so
Are you just keeping it steady mileage or
yeah, no crazy,
workouts or anything, just volume?
No workouts, yeah. That's all I cared about because I
It's
think
the nature of the race you're training for.
yeah. Again, I didn't really have to run quick at all at Bondi to Manly. It was all pretty aerobic. So yeah, I think that was the main goal, and the running on the course a lot helped. As we touched on earlier, it helps to know every single turn, and I wanted to know what's coming up in terms of construction and all that because I did have to change the course a little to adapt to that.
Yeah.
And there's also like a new path that's open, which I think the race course this year will go through at Bondi to Manly. So yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Seems like a good training block, like building that threshold and then just doing bulk
Yeah, for sure.
volume. Call it not easy Ks, but yeah.
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 I think the threshold was meant to be like a get back to fitness kind of quickly, and then I wanted to build up the volume and the capacity to handle the mileage and the elevation as well. Because yeah, I did like 1800 minimum elevation for like 5 or 6 weeks in a row, and one of the weeks, the 47k long run week, I did 2300, which is a lot compared to usual for me.
Yeah.
I think moving forward, I think I should do more still, but as a guy that used to run like 700 elevation, it's a huge jump to start doing like 1800 minimum a week for 5 weeks in a row.
It's really hard in Sydney as well. Like
Yeah, so Awaba Street Hill Repeats was like
Marble
the best
Street's
way.
ridiculous.
It's like 400 meters distance, but 70 meters up.
really, jeez.
So you only need like 10 reps to get to 700. Like it's quite a good way to get elevation.
I
Yeah.
remember going on a long run and then that was part of it, and I'd never been up that, and I was like, oh, let's see what this feels like.
Yeah.
It literally feels like you're not moving. Like it's that steep.
Good thing though is like all the other races after that, or like runs after that, have felt so flat. Like
Yeah.
it gets super easy. Because I forgot to say, I did Festival of the Feet as well.
Oh yeah,
The hat,
that's
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had to give you some competition. Yeah, but that was good as well. And there's like 9 proper hills in there, so yeah, I had to like well, I didn't really go quick up the hill, but I was so used to the elevation that it didn't get me tired at all.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive though.
yeah.
Like because you were just sort of more training for ultras and still could show up. And
Yeah.
What was
put
your
in a
time in
good
that one?
half?
I think I did a 74:03.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
On the
Yeah.
hills is very soft.
Yeah, that would have definitely been like lower 73 or maybe
Maybe
dip
72.
under 70.
Yeah,
I
think so.
Yeah, on a flat. Yeah, it
Course
wasn't really an ideal course, but yeah.
Did you get the course record?
I did, yeah.
All right.
By 70 seconds, I think. And Ian also ran faster than the previous course record.
Right.
Yeah,
nice.
but he unfortunately slipped about 9k's in.
Oh shit.
I was behind him, but yeah, and then I saw him slip, so obviously I slowed down to make sure he was alright.
Yeah.
And we both, I made sure he got up before I carried on, because yeah, I didn't want to be a dog.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to just sprint by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tap him
Yeah.
as you go past.
But yeah, he was a bit of a celebrity at Festival of
Festival
the
of
Feet.
the Feet,
Really?
Yeah,
yeah.
like the announcers and all that.
That's
all
cool.
near him. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Because he's won it like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's quite well known out there. Yeah.
Like St. Peter's Park Run.
Yeah. Yeah. People actually confuse him and I quite a lot. Like,
Really?
Oh, really?
I always get people coming up to
Calling
me and
you
being
Ian.
like, "Oh yeah, you're the guy that wins St. Peter's Park Run every week, right?" And I'm like, I go there like once a year. Yeah. But yeah, I tell them I know who they're talking about though.
Yeah,
But,
but I'm not the man.
I'm not the man. I'm
Yeah.
not the guy that wins every weekend. Yeah. I don't do parkrun that much anymore. Like it doesn't fit into my schedule.
Yeah.
I
feel
think
like we're gonna
Saturday I
do a
want to run a
roads,
bit
though.
longer.
We're gonna do a roads park run.
Yeah,
It's
I'd
tradition.
love to. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe when you come back.
Yeah, when I'm back.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because with the threshold stuff, you've done some like pretty
Yeah.
good videos, YouTube videos on that.
Yeah, because I collabed with the guy from Brisbane, Matt Hanks.
Matt Hans, He's like right into threshold.
Yeah, so he went to college in the US and just after 1 year, he dropped his 5K from like 1447, I think, all the way down to 1410.
Yeah,
which is pretty big margin when
you're
you
that quick already.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Like I struggle to. Yeah, I reckon with my 1540 now, like I'm not gonna do a huge PB like that.
That'd be like going sub 15.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot.
That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah. But yeah, he was pretty big on the double threshold, and yeah, I guess we had a chat about that as well. We did a podcast
On your episode, yeah.
And then I went to Brisbane and we filmed a video together there as well. So yeah, he told me a little bit more ins and outs about it, and yeah,
because he's using the threshold meter.
Yeah, except he doesn't use that as much
threshold,
anymore.
lactate meter, sorry.
Yeah, I think he told me that once you use it a lot, you should go more by feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's doing the reading and then probably can know what the reading feels like.
Yeah, you can equate that reading to the feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get better at it over time. And if you don't have a lactate meter, like you should just be on the conservative side.
Yeah.
Because then you're obviously making sure that you don't go above that threshold. Yeah, because as soon as you're running somewhere between threshold and like VO2 max or all out pace, you're kind of that's where the actual gray zone is.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like obviously a bit is good as we touched on, but
sounds like every single core hill session for me.
If you're always going into a threshold workout and running like a little bit too quick, I reckon you're just wasting the potential, I guess. But depends what you're training for as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like in Jack Daniels back in the day when we were big Jack Daniels fans.
Yeah. People thought we interviewed him.
It's all about like accumulating as much time as possible at that threshold, and like if you go over that, then your lactate's going to be too high for the rest of the session, and
you're not really building the adaptations to that.
You'll get some, but not as much as you could.
Yeah.
But you can sometimes go like a touch above it, because over time you want to like slowly build on that, right? Like you're not going to be at the same threshold forever. As you get fitter, you will get a faster threshold, and if you work a tiny bit above that, it's fine. But it's when you're like obviously going way quicker than your threshold, that's when you're kind of ruining it. But I'm sure I sometimes go a touch above it, but we're talking like maybe 1 second per K quicker or 2 seconds per K quicker.
Yeah.
And I don't know my actual threshold pace and values, but that's the sort of vibe I'm going for. Like sometimes a little bit over it, sometimes a little bit under, sometimes right at it, but never like way above it. Yeah.
Interesting. Have you ever thought about that or applied it to? I feel like we're similar to our sessions are like.
Well, you had like double session days for a while.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're doing threshold,
it was meant to be like threshold, but like I was running in a session with like a bunch of other people, and it just gets competitive.
Was that when you were doing Easterly? And Turbo?
Easterly and Turbo.
I remember that.
Double threshold day. Like, double threshold leading to VO2 day.
Which is like, I think, what you're not meant to do. But I feel like I still got really fit off it. So.
You can make the case that your body's still adapting to that stress.
You know? If you can survive it, I think it's just probably...
don't get injured.
Don't get injured.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't get injured, you can kind of do anything and you'll get better, right? Like the main thing that holds you back is getting an injury or a niggle, and then you have to take off a few days, or it turns into a week or two. Yeah. And you just get really inconsistent. But if you can handle the load, like why not? Yeah. Like I'm sure there's people out there that can handle all that speed and be fine, you know, and they'll reap the benefits from that.
Yeah. But I only did it for like a couple of weeks, and then I just felt exhausted. So it's like you're probably better off just finding something you can stick to.
Yeah.
But if you can, I think doing it at the right pace probably helps a lot.
Yeah. Because I feel so chill by the end of that.
Yeah.
I think you said by the end of it you should be able to do like a lot more reps if you had to.
100%.
Yeah. Cool.
More about Bondi and O'Malley?
Yeah. Talk us through the what about a bit of the like course preparation? So obviously you went out, did the 47k run. What also went into like scoping out the course? Because is it that easy to follow?
Yeah, it's not actually, because last year at the race, Dom and I had to use our phone and kind of follow the course, and we were looking at our phone a lot, and there were a few turns that were clearly not that obvious. So I guess because I was recording a video, I was kind of documenting my recording and being like, all right, when we hit here, we're gonna go left and stuff like that to try and like ingrain it in my head. But the good thing about doing the course recce is every time you go the wrong way in training, you learn it better because every time you make a mistake, it kind of sticks to your head a bit more. I feel like
I turned there and that's the wrong way.
Yeah.
Same with doing a test in school. I mean, obviously we've been out of school for a while, all three of us, but
I was more than you, but anyway.
I guess, yeah. But you learn so much from the mistakes. I feel like I learn better from that. So making the mistake is good, but as long as you, try and remember from next time. And I think that helped a lot because during the actual time trial yesterday, I feel like I remembered pretty much every single turn. Yeah. And that felt really good. Actually, no, I think there was one bit where I went the wrong way from about 5 meters, but I realized immediately that was the wrong way, so I turned back. But yeah. So that was the main goal. Just run every part of the course, see if there's any construction, because there was a bit after Clontarf Reach, which is like maybe 61 k's in or something, where there's like a trail that's blocked off. Like you literally can't go through the barrier because they're renovating it to make it a bit better, I think. So I had to go like up a really steep staircase onto a bit of concrete. So I guess it cancels out. Like concrete's obviously way more runnable than the trail that I was meant to run, but yeah, it added a bit more hills as well because obviously along the water it's a bit more flat. But yeah, we went like the hilly area. But yeah, it's knowing all those sorts of stuff. But once I did every part of the course, I knew what parts of the course I was able to run. So I hopped on the laptop. You know how you can scroll in Strava through the map and see like the distance and what time it is and all that?
Yeah.
So I kind of minused the errors that I made in the practice runs. So I could tell that the course is going to be like 78k, which is what the race course was, right? Roughly?
Yeah.
It was like 78k, 78 point
78, 79, something like that.
Yeah. So I knew that it kind of reflected correctly, so I knew that that was the course I wanted to run yesterday. So yeah, there was only like 3 changes to what we ran last year in the actual race, because the rest of it was still open, and yeah, I remembered a fair amount of it without looking at my phone as well.
Yeah.
Especially the second half. I think the first half is quite confusing because I don't really run Watson's Bay and all that often.
No.
And there's a bit of residential area and like random narrow parts.
That bit was really hard to know.
There was a bit where there's like a 1 meter gap between a building and we're just like...
Yeah, that's right.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
There's some really weird turns on that course.
Yeah,
I ran that yesterday as well and I'm like,
You would not think that you'd go down there.
Yeah.
But
like a really narrow alleyway,
challenge.
like 1 meter wide or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's such a weird course, but yeah, I love it. I love the diversity of it because there's fast parts, slow parts, and there's always something to stop your momentum, I guess, because there's either a staircase or a hill or a trail or a sharp turn or like a confusing bit. There's also beaches, so yeah, quite a weird course, and you can't really plan what part of it is fast and all that. But I think now that I've run it twice and I'm about to run it a third time, and I've done it in training a few times as well, I'm more familiar with what part of the course is fast and slow. A lot of people say Mossman Trails is slow, but in my opinion it's actually quite fast. And after the Harbour Bridge, so you get off the north side of the Harbour Bridge, that part is really hilly and a lot of stairs.
Yeah, that part's really tricky,
But everyone says Mossman Trails is the hilly bit, but in my opinion the earlier parts after the Harbour Bridge is like hillier. So
I think everyone's probably just pretty cooked by Mossman Trails.
True, yeah.
Like we were cramping really hard on Mossman Trails.
But this time around when I did it yesterday, I wasn't cramping at all. I was like moving through that. Yeah.
How far in is
good.
the Mossman Trail?
Like 45, I want to say. 44.
Like when I saw you, no,
that was a bit further.
Okay, you're more cranky by that point.
I was pretty off.
That was like 60k where Luke was.
I was like, go, Dom.
That was like Clontarf. Because I remember you ran with me for about...
Oh, you were nice.
Like 100 meters. Yeah, I appreciated the company. But it was only like 100 meters now.
It's pretty grim to be that.
We got to get Luke on the trails.
Yeah.
Sydney Ultra
in the
Marathon.
Bondi Manly. That'd be good.
Or Hounslow.
Manly.
Hounslow. He would die.
I think Sydney Ultra Marathon would be good. Like the first half is pretty runnable. I was thinking like, this is just like Canberra Marathon, and then it got a bit
You can hop in on a Bondi to Manly team, like relay team.
I
With
think
Matt
we're
or
actually
something.
planning on
Oh,
doing
yeah?
that. Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
your team? Chris Guy or?
I'm not sure what the team's gonna be.
I think they'll work it out later. I guess.
Yeah.
I know Michaela wants to do
I think
it.
it's
Lauren
a mixed
wants
team.
to do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks that Dom's not doing the race this year. The full thing, 80Ks.
Yeah,
Bondi
no,
Manly. Yeah.
no, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, you gotta
A
take
bit
the
less
W.
stacked. Yeah. I think, Vlad Shatrov, who's another guy that placed pretty well last year, 4th place, I think. He's not coming back either. So,
Alright.
yeah, I think it'll be like Joey Martin
Jensen.
Jansen. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but yeah, he's quick. And yeah, well, hopefully after that run yesterday, I'll be more in contention, like knocking on the door for like
so
3rd
are
or
you-
4th.
Are you doing the race as well?
I'll try and come back for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, especially
Right.
after that run yesterday.
Yeah.
I think I still have time to build on it as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good experience.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
specific, obviously.
I'd want to go like 3rd or 4th this year, I reckon. After that.
I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did the race go and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like-
Yesterday.
Yeah. How
So
was it?
I think the main difference of why I did way better this year was the fact that I took in way more nutrition. So I calculated it, and the plan was about 113 grams per hour. That's what it calculated to be. But
That's a lot, isn't it?
yeah, it's a
heaps,
lot. It's
yeah.
like 4 gels an hour ish.
Wow.
Yeah. But you can get some of that through drink mixes.
Yep.
So
What
yeah.
were you using? Because you had someone sponsoring for that.
Yeah, exactly. I had a brand called Training House, which is like the equivalent of Aid Station. Like
Yep.
just like a ton of brands, one website.
Oh, right, okay.
But they're Sydney based, so
Yep.
yeah, they're pretty good. And yeah, they hooked me up with a lot of gels, so I could practice it as well. So I obviously didn't want to suddenly go into 4 gels an hour yesterday. So that 47K run, I practiced with 3 gels an hour. And yeah, that felt fine. I didn't have any stomach issues. So yeah, I think there was one other run where I tried to do like 4 gels an hour, but it was a way shorter run, like 20K. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not surprised that I managed to handle it, but I just thought I would plan for that because it's good to plan for more because you're always gonna consume less than you plan for. I feel like on race day, so I might have fallen back to like high 90s or low hundreds in terms of grams an hour, but that was like way better than the 3 gels I took last year for the whole run.
Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
not enough.
Yeah, well, you saw me, right? I did it in a belt
Yeah.
last year. I didn't even
Yeah,
have a
that's
pack.
right. Yeah.
I literally did it in a belt. Everyone else had a pack, and I think I was at a pretty big disadvantage in terms of nutrition last year. So it's that, yeah.
Do
You
you
could
think?
do it with just a belt, but you'd need to
You need
have
more,
like, friends on the way or
yeah, to hand you
use all
stuff
the
and
aid
all that, yeah,
stations and-
for sure, yeah. And then the other thing is I did way more elevation, so I think I was more, I could tolerate the hills a bit better. And again, I don't go quicker up the hill necessarily, but it's just like the same speed up the hill is like nothing to me now.
Yeah.
Compared to last year. So I did 7 hours 5 minutes in the race last year, but this time I did 6 hours 34. Obviously not exactly the same course, so it's gonna be like a bit of a plus or minus, but either way, like 31 minutes of improvement.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, that's
massive, yeah.
a big enough improvement that I know that I did something right, you know. So, yeah, it's pretty good, and I'm feeling a lot more confident if I do end up coming back for the race.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I think like that would pretty much get you on the podium anyways.
Yeah, I think that would have gotten me 5th last year.
Okay.
But that's in a field with you and Vlad, who
Yeah.
aren't doing it this year.
True.
So, yeah, according to that purely, I'm technically 3rd, you know. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I want to try and really do well this year. I
Yeah,
guess.
absolutely. Well, there's still plenty of time to get fit.
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah.
So what would you change leading in if you were going to do it, like based on the experience of yesterday?
Yeah, well, to be honest, not too much. I think maybe, I think I'll try and be a bit safer on my peak week. I don't think the triple long run is going to happen
Yeah.
this time. Like 3 weeks in a row, triple long runs. That's, yeah, a lot of tough weekends in a row. So maybe like 1 long run. I don't mind the 47K long run, but the fact that I did it after 2 other long runs
Yeah.
2 days before that
Yeah.
was a bit tougher. So yeah, maybe that might have contributed a bit to the niggle that I felt in taper week. So yeah, maybe dial it back a bit there. But apart from that, I'm pretty happy with how it went. And to be honest, like the fact that I have another 3 months from now to train for Bondi and Manly, like I don't have to do anything crazy. It's just staying injury free and getting the mileage in. But I'll definitely take a week or two off because of this. Yeah, again, niggle / little bit of an injury, I'd say. But I'm happy to rest for a week or two.
Yeah,
just to make it better, because I'm not going to lose that much fitness after doing a 78k run that quick as well. I think I'll benefit more from recovering properly and then getting back into it, because I built like a big base now in the last few months after injury, and I want to kind of maintain that and hopefully do well in October. Yeah.
So how did the race go in terms of like pacing and ups and downs and all that sort of stuff?
The first half of the course, Domino, is like a lot quicker.
Yep.
I guess there's a bit more road. The elevation is a bit of a weird one because it does cram a bit of elevation near like Watson's Bay.
Yeah, the first 20k is like tough.
It is pretty hilly. But then after that, it gets a little bit more flat as you get towards the city.
Yeah.
So that's where you make up a bit of time, I guess. I don't think anyone's ever gonna negative split that race. Like ultra marathons are too long. It's pretty tricky to negative split, and the second half of the course is harder. But I guess the plan was mainly I knew because there's a guy called Rhett Gibson who's done like the fastest time ever, but he did a slightly different course because it was like before the Bondi to Manly race started. That's only been around for 2 years. Yeah, but anyway, so he's done this like crazy 6 hour 10-minute run or 6 hour 9 minutes, something like that. But yeah, I thought I'd start at that pace because I know I'll get slower in the second half. So I wasn't really aiming to beat that all-time record. It was more like to build on my race that I had last year, which I was like relatively happy with, but also I knew that there's a lot of room for improvement. So the main goal is obviously to improve on that, like run that race course or as similar as possible to that. But yeah, plan was like roughly stick to what the fastest guy ever has done on a Bondi to Manly, even though it's slightly different course, and then
what's the pace?
Fall back. I think he must have done like 4:45 if I had to guess.
Yeah.
To run that, but yeah, I started at like 4:43 for the first half, and then I slowed down inevitably in the second half, but ended at like 5:02 or 5:03 per k. So yeah, it wasn't as big of a blow up as last year. I was moving really well through Cremorne Point and Mossman Trails. I think the only tough bit was just after the Harbour Bridge. There's a bit of trail. Oh, sorry, just after Spit Bridge.
Yeah, it's hard.
There's a bit of trail. That part was pretty hard. I'd say that was the main hard bit yesterday. But apart from that, as soon as I was heading towards Manly Walk, because there's a bit more pavement after those trails.
Yeah.
After Spit Bridge. Yeah. I was back onto like 4:20 pace because I was running with Michaela and Mixu, who I met up with.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, like it was good. All the road parts, I was running like 4:20s to, maybe like 4 minutes all the way up to 4:40 for the road bit. And then the trails must have been like slower. But yeah, I think I did well in the road bit to maintain that kind of pace and try not bleed too much time.
Yeah. What's going through your head in a solo? Because you're out there solo for the most part, but you obviously have people with you. But
I calculated it. I ran roughly 52 Ks alone, so that's quite a lot of time alone. And obviously without the race environment, it's really tough. So I think even that's worth a few minutes, on race day. But yeah, I think I did really well at just doing that old trick of go to the next tree and then the next tree after that and all that. So every time I wanted to walk, I managed to psych myself out of that and like make sure I keep running. If there was a hill that was really steep, I did walk some of it because I think it's much better to conserve your energy at that point and just go quicker on the flat. So
like Chinaman's Beach.
Yeah,
that one's brutal.
Yeah, there's some staircases that you just shouldn't run on that course because. Yeah, I actually had like a pretty loyal like follower of mine who messaged me, and he's really into these like statistics and all that. So he actually analyzed you, Joey, myself, I think Vlad as well, on how we paced it and all that sort of stuff, and also like what the 7-hour barrier means and all that. But apparently, you can walk up like every single staircase and some of the steep hills and still break 8 hours pretty easily.
Yeah.
So it's actually not worth sending it up the hill and stuff. Even if you're going for the 7-hour barrier, you could walk some of the stairs and it'll be fine. Yeah. So it's more about like how well you can maintain your effort level throughout. So it's less about pace. It's more about like, if you're sticking to like a 7 out of 10 effort pace or whatever you want to call it, when you're going uphill, that's going to be a bit slower. When you're on the flats, it'll be a bit faster. Downhill will be even quicker, you know? So it's kind of like sticking to that true, even effort throughout is the best way to run the course. Yeah. And that does include walking. Yeah.
You're talking about like getting to the next tree sort of thing. At what point are you starting to like really feel it?
Yeah. I think, like I said earlier, it's probably after Spit Bridge.
Yeah,
there's
okay.
just a bit of trail and there's a bit of elevation. And you're like, 60 to 70 Ks. It's like that part where you're really deep into the race, but you're still so far from the finish.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was thinking, that's still like more than an hour of like suffering.
Yeah.
So mentally that was really tough as well.
Yeah. I was
But-
pretty grumpy.
Yeah.
Me at that.
Yeah.
Hey, Dom, how are you?
Yeah, so I reckon everyone has similar experiences on that course. Like, that's probably the toughest bit. But once you start to get to that flat bit, maybe which is about 66 k's in, where you're just rolling on some pavement towards Manly Wharf.
Yeah.
That part you get a bit of confidence back because you're running a bit quicker again after going slow for a bit. So yeah, I guess that 62 to 66 k's, that area is like tough. Yeah, because even yesterday, I think I had a few 6 minutes per k and 1 7 minute per k there, but everything else is like 4 minutes per k or just over 5. Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, but that bit slowed me down a fair amount. Yeah. Yeah.
And how many people came out to support?
Yeah, I think it was about 14 to 16.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
People. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different parts of the course. One guy started with me for the first 8K.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But then one of my other loyal friends, he like came and saw me at 5 different parts of the course and ran like, a K or 2 at a time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a hard one because like on the roads I'm going quite quick, so like it was tough for the pacers as well because like the pacers don't know what pace I'm about to run. So some people ran less than they wanted to with me because I started going a bit quicker on the road mix. So yeah, it's a tough event to like plan well, but I tried my best to plan it well in terms of like even marketing it because it's not an official event, so I had to build some hype to it as well.
Yeah.
Because with 8 brands supporting you, like you can't just do it. Like I feel like I need to deliver a bit in terms of entertainment.
Yeah.
Not entertainment, but
It was great. Yeah.
hyping it up,
good.
Yeah.
I was checking in every now and then.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It felt like a race.
Yeah.
Well, I had live tracking and all that as well. so
So he come through halfway and I was like, oh, he's on here. Like,
Yeah. Like it wasn't as quick as what we did last year.
yeah.
Like
But it was a bit rainy as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Actually, that was a tough thing, but I surprisingly didn't like complain about it at all. Like I just copped it. It was pretty bad at one point. It was like when I was at Circular Quay, it started raining a lot.
Yeah,
right. Like slightly demoralizing it because I wear glasses. Like it's
hard,
really annoying.
yeah.
You must know as well. Like
Yeah.
it's really annoying when it rains.
Yeah.
Like I had to hold my glasses in my hand, but like that makes it harder to take the gels in and all that. Like one extra thing you need to worry about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I did super well at not letting it get to my head.
Yeah.
I think the thing that got to my head the most was again that trail bit, 62 k's in. Yeah, that was a tough bit.
That's kind of where I lost the race. Like I was with Joey until then, and then we got into the trails, and he only got just out of sight.
Yeah.
But that was enough to for me to kind of like give in a bit and slow.
When you're that far into the race, like even small stuff like that can like really get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So That's where the mental part comes in. And I remember Matt and Tomas, like when you did that podcast with the four of you.
Yeah.
Like you guys were talking about that mental side. I think Matt might have brought it up, but it's huge. Like you have to have like a proper plan when you start to feel crap.
Yeah.
Like, and you have to anticipate it beforehand as well. Like, yeah, you can't just have a few good long runs and be like, sweet, this is going to be a walk in the park. Like, it's going to be hard no matter what. You're going to be pushing the red line in any race. So you have to have some sort of mental plan that's ready. Otherwise, you just go into that mental spiral and then it just gets worse and worse. And yeah, that's when the big blow-ups happen. But yeah, if you kind of restrict yourself to only blowing up by a certain amount or only letting yourself be like mentally soft for a certain amount, like it really helps. So you have to set like that kind of standard and commit to it and stick to it. Yeah. But yeah, doing a lot of ultras helps. Like I've done 8 now. Yeah. And not all of them have been races, but yeah, just any ultra is tough, right? Like even if it's not a race. But yeah, I think that experience now with ultras, and I've only been doing ultras for actually, my first ultra was 14 months ago. So that means because I've done 8 ultras in 14 months, that's quite frequent. That's a lot of ultras. Yeah. And yeah, I've just now got used to it. So the shorter ultras actually don't tire me out as much anymore. Yeah. Like I do a marathon long run any day now, happily, and I'll be fine. Yeah. I think what a lot of people feel in a road marathon the day after is what I feel like after Bondi. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to build that capacity, and that's all that base training and mileage that I've put in. Yeah.
Do you think it made a big difference for you, Dom, after you were doing ultras, like on the mental side, or because?
Yeah, I think you just got something like you've been through these hard experiences before, and you can kind of push through them even more. But I think like the trail running as well, and running on like uneven surfaces and all of that, like strengthens your legs in a different way to running too, that helps you stay strong in the back half of races. So I think like a combination of the two, because for Gold Coast, like the start of this year, I was just on the trails heaps. I didn't do any ultras, but I think still being on the trails helped a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, every run just becomes way longer, like duration wise, in the trail. Because like Bondi Valley, that's like 6 hours and a half of running for me yesterday, which is obviously way longer than what I would be running for duration wise in a marathon, right? Because 2:30 versus 6:30, like that's 4 extra hours of being in the hurt locker. So I think that extra buffer of being used to having races that are that long, like it helps a lot when you go back to the shorter stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's weird when you do stuff like Festival of the Feet half and you're like, wow, this feels like a short and fast, sharp race, you know?
Yeah.
But for others, like a half might be long. Yeah, it just depends on what you do, I guess. But yeah, it's nice that I'm kind of falling back to a half marathon rather than building up to a half marathon race. Yeah. Yeah, it just felt super short. It was over before, like, I was suffering too bad. Yeah. Yeah.
So overall, happy with how...
happy.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah. And I don't know what I want to do for the next few months, but, like, I'm moving to Japan. I need to settle back. So I'll kind of decide. But I also do want to get faster at the 5K again before going back into ultra marathon training. So hopefully I can find a good race in Japan. Like, Japan has a few track races where there's like 20 guys and like half the people will be going for sub 15, and then there's a pacer for like 15:30. So I want to just sit behind a 15:30 guy and just shave off a little bit of my 5K PB.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
You can do that.
Yeah. If I just cling on and don't have to think about the pace.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that would help. So I want to do that. I want to do a proper 10K as well. Yeah. I think it's about time I admit to myself that the Sydney 10 course is...
It doesn't say that when I did the intro. It just says 32:42.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm still happy to claim it for now.
Yeah.
But look, I think...
I think you're faster than that anyway.
Yeah, I can go faster. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get a good 10K as well at some point. Yeah.
What's your half marathon?
74:03 at Festival of the Feet. But
Yeah.
I should be in the
gotta go after
71s or something. Yeah. Yeah, so I want to do a
Plenty of-
proper half.
Yeah, that'd be good. Like you said, with the ultra experience now, and then building out your threshold, you'll be in a good position to run a good half. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
How do you guys fuel for a half though? I'm actually curious.
Fuel.
Yeah, fuel, like gel wise. Do you have one before and then one during, or nothing, or?
Yeah, I haven't run a half in a while. I think the last one was maybe orange when we went
Oh
there.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Which you did well in.
Yeah, it was
Like
good.
obviously, I don't know what the time was, but it's a tough course. So
Yeah, I think it was
time
like
doesn't matter.
74 low or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like a bit of elevation.
Yeah,
hilly,
like
yeah.
solo at
Yeah.
the front. But
Yeah.
I didn't take anything during the race. I took
Yeah.
like just a couple of bananas for breakfast and
Yeah. So no gels.
Nah,
Yeah.
no gels. But
What do you do for your half?
Gel before.
Yeah.
And then gel at like either like 7 or 8K.
Both with caffeine or no?
I have taken the caffeine one during the race and
Yeah.
one non-caff
Non-cap before.
before.
Okay.
But I've been having issues with caffeine. The caffeine ones
Like in
tasting
the
a little
stomach?
bit.
Or the
Just
taste?
taste
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Yeah,
at
they're a bit
speed,
gross.
especially
Like
in
the
the half.
Morton caffeine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but because you probably don't need a whole lot.
Yeah, like it's over. The fact that it's over within 90 minutes for
Yeah.
us, yeah, like it's always a tricky one whether to take one or not. Yeah, but yeah, I want to work that out because if I do race a half, I want to have a proper strategy. But yeah, it sounds like one gel before might be enough. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
depends on the person, I guess, as usual.
You're
Yeah.
working pretty hard to take the gel as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a bit awkward
So I
during
reckon
the
one
race.
before is the way to go if you can
Yeah.
stomach it. Yeah, which I usually can because now that I've taken like 3 or 4 gels an hour
Yeah.
without stomach issues, like that gives me a bit of confidence. But yeah, I can imagine taking gels at marathon pace would be tough. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not too bad.
Oh, really?
More like
Okay.
trying to drink stuff is the worst though. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how did you guys go in terms of Gold Coast Marathon? Like, how many gels did you take?
Well, I had 6 on me in the car, and
Yeah.
then we had to like jog to the start line, and it was a bit of a panic to get there.
Yeah.
And then
You
I
forgot your
realized
gels.
on the start line one of them was missing, so I only had 5. So I took 5 gels.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Okay, you?
I
How many?
was planning to take 7, but I think I took about 4 or 3.5. And I had issues after, like when it started to hurt on the back part of the marathon, just getting the gels in. When it's probably the part where you really need to like force yourself, but I
Yeah.
even found it hard as my body was rejecting it a little bit. So
Yeah.
that's something I want to work on.
Yeah.
But yeah, in training I was okay, but I think a lot of it I was either taking it during the floats or you weren't working as hard, stuff like that. So, or it might have even been day
You
dependent.
have to practice taking it while you're running quick, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like when you're running, all the blood goes to your muscles and not to your stomach. So then you can't like digest anything
Yeah.
the same. Apparently.
I don't know if you remember when
I was like, Dom, you're venturing into dangerous territory here.
Do you-
Can
no,
get the
that's right though, I think.
fact checker.
I've heard that as well.
I'm not saying any facts on this.
Do you want to talk about creatine now?
Remember when I was on the track when I was on the track running a 5K with a pack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to try and take a waffle during that run.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
running
Might as well
320
have a
pace
bagel.
and trying to eat, like you just can't. Your
No
body
way.
doesn't let
No.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if I'm running 6 minutes per K, I can. I had the same waffle, like literally 2 days after in the trail, running 6 minutes per K. No
Yeah.
issues. I had it in within 400 meters. But the other one, I could have half of it in 5Ks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's hard consuming stuff. Obviously, solids are even harder.
Yeah,
solids
absolutely.
are just-
When you have to like chew, you got like no
Yeah.
saliva. Like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, if it makes you feel any better, I've been talking to a few like super fast marathoners like Ed Goddard, Tom DeCanto.
I heard Tom
and-
DeCanto in your video said
Yeah,
he's only ever
exactly.
taken 3 gels.
Exactly.
Was it 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
And also this like guy, this British guy, he was at Gold Coast Marathon, but he lives in Japan.
Oh yeah, you run.
Oh,
it.
the guy running crazy
Yeah.
mileage?
Yeah, all 3 of them have told me like they're crap at gels. Like, you know, at best they'd be having 3 gels
Yeah,
in a marathon.
right. Interesting.
And like Egg's done Melbourne Marathon, ran 2:15 with no gels once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like I guess it is hard for everyone. Like it's a bit of a journey, and you have to, I guess, practice a lot in training as well. Just get really used to taking gels at marathon pace.
It's kind of tricky because I thought you would have done. Really
I thought
well
I was
with that 'cause-
confident.
Yeah.
With my gel consumption because I did a
Yeah.
lot of it in training.
Yeah.
But and to be fair, I remember taking it for the floats, but not like I made a point of like getting quite a lot of them down in the efforts. I think just a mixture of just the fatigue in the race and maybe having not so great day on the stomach. So
Yeah.
just one
It's
of
so
those
annoying
things.
when like everything doesn't align perfectly on the day. you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you expect it to, but yeah, anything can happen on the day.
Yeah.
And I was lucky yesterday. Like I think for the most part, everything was pretty good. And the stuff that weren't were outside of my control, like weather and whatnot. You know.
Yeah. What about shoes? What were you wearing?
Yeah, I wore the Asics Super Blast because that's what
Oh,
I
yeah.
wore last year.
The
in
new
race.
ones?
No, the ones.
The ones.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
Which again, I wore it last year, the exact same pair, so
Yeah.
I was pretty confident with that. And because I had the calf niggle, like I thought something with a bit of a drop would help.
It's
Because
a great
trail shoes
shoe.
tend to be lower drop.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Probably no need on that course for
Yeah.
a trail shoe.
Nah.
Yeah, there's a lot of road. Yeah. So yeah, I played it safe, wore a high drop shoe. But yeah.
What were the what have you been training in? What have you been enjoying shoe wise?
Yeah, well, I still have like 28 shoes or something, so it's
Yeah.
hard to recap everything. But Endorphin Speed 4s, they're
You're a
very
big
good.
fan, yeah.
I'm enjoying it, yeah.
Yeah.
Rebel V4s as well, pretty good.
Yeah. I thought you were saying bring back the 2 and 3.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your-
But it,
Oh, that just clicked that.
Yeah, what was that clickbait? Yeah.
no, I wasn't
yeah,
yeah,
you're
I
like-
talked about it in the
You're
video.
like pretty decent, but bring back the 2 and 3. You've gone backwards here.
It's good. It's good, but it's just too similar to a lot of other shoes now.
Right.
Oh,
And
okay.
the V2 and the V3 were unique because they were less cushioned.
Right.
And there's no shoe like it anymore.
That's like the Chris Cat
Yeah.
special, isn't it?
I think
Chris
it is.
wears.
A
he's
lot of
got-
people have a lot of
They're not
V2s.
like.
They're pretty popular, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're such good shoes, yeah.
Yeah.
So if they bring it back, they would sell more of it. Yeah.
Yep.
But they went on the route to, making similar shoes to everyone else. Because everything's getting more cushioned.
Yeah, everything's like super soft and
But
cushy.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just we need diversity. Is what's most important, you know? Like you want a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have you tried the Paris
Edge
Sky?
Paris?
Yeah.
I tried the Metaspeed Edge Pass.
Yeah.
It's such a good shoe.
Yeah.
I like it more than the Vaporfly 3.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
those are my two race shoes right now.
The Vaporfly 3 was okay. I didn't
Yeah.
love it, yeah.
The V1s and 2s are better, I reckon.
Yeah.
Especially the V1. Yeah.
Hopper was at Gore Hill. Bought all his shoes.
You tried it?
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
I
But
think.
Alphafly 3s are good.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah,
but
Alpha 3 is good,
I
yeah.
feel like that was a. I even felt good on that was the first session back after the marathon. I don't know. It just felt they were good. I feel like it's more suited to for me at least, the like a half marathon or a 10K.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit rather than the Alpha Flies 3, even though they're both good shoes. Just felt a bit more light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got the Alphafly 3s off a mixer, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Some
Mr.
second-hand
Yeah.
Alphafly 3s.
Did he
Well, he
mu-
barely wore it though, I think. He wore it once or something, yeah.
Yeah, 230 shoe though.
I think yeah,
still
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Did the
Did he
magic.
mark it up? Did he like? did he
Yeah,
do
he
a
did
full
great
stock
job.
X
Well,
price?
shout out to Mixer for the 230 then.
Yeah,
thanks,
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 Mitsui,
Mitsui.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
First,
Yeah.
he's got segments sponsored, and
Yeah.
yeah. Well, your YouTube's you've been going hard
Oh,
on
yeah.
YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Obviously, you've been on YouTube for ages. What,
Yeah.
like 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years
10
now,
years?
actually.
Yeah. But
How many followers?
6,000.
6,000 now.
I just hit 6,000.
But it looks like
Wow.
it's going like
The
an extra
past month-
200
Yeah.
already.
Sorry?
Like
Yeah,
another 200.
6,300,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and like all the videos are getting quite a lot of views. You've done heaps with Ed recently.
Yeah. I think that helps. Yeah.
That's been good. What's been anything different, or you just like?
Not really. So I think because I have more free time now, like because I knew I was going to Japan, I left my work at pace, and I decided to like go all in on YouTube for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I could afford to. You know, I'm still in my 20s. It's the time to experiment with life.
Why'd you look at me and laugh? Bro, I only just turned 30. Just giggling. I'm like, do I need to get my walking frame out or?
No. I didn't even know what I was thinking. I'm probably still in that brain fog.
He was like a pity laugh, like I'm still young.
Anyway, so
That was good.
yeah, I decided to just go all in on YouTube for 1 month and see what happens. And turns out if you do quantity and quality, like as in post a quality video every day for like a few weeks, you grow. And it's good because I think with YouTube they know when a video is good if the viewers watch a big portion of the video.
Yep.
So it's not about just getting the clicks, it's more like who clicks and watches for a long time. And when they notice that, they push out the video to more people. And I think because of the quality, and I guess getting more runners involved and like people like Jake Baraclough from the UK.
Good,
Like he runs 250k weeks. Like people want to know how that training looks like. So yeah, people tuning into that sort of stuff grew the channel a lot. So yeah, my channel's been like exponential in the last month.
Yeah, and it'll only keep sort of.
Yeah, like I've gotten about 1/10 of my subscribers in the last month.
Wow.
And I've been doing YouTube for 10 years. So
Wow.
to do that in a month is like a big jump.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Huge.
Same with the views as well. So yeah, it's good right now. I think every video is performing really well at the moment.
What have you changed in like the editing and all the method that you?
Yeah, I think I have much more awareness of like what's boring, what's good. So I'm more, I'm more assertive with all the cuts that I make in the video. So if I think something's like even mildly boring, I'll just cut it out. Like it feels like a waste because I've already recorded it, but I cut it out if I don't think anyone will be interested. Yeah, so yeah, it's being less selfish and trying to think from the viewer's perspective about what they would find interesting. So thinking from that standpoint helps a lot as well. And yeah, also title and thumbnail, it's pretty big.
Yeah, they look really good.
Because that's what initially makes people want to click. Like you got to build that. You want to be you want to add a bit of ambiguity.
Yeah.
And yeah, that want for people to click, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So add a bit of mystery in the title and thumbnail.
Yeah. Like with the Rebels, just throwing shade at them. Nah, kidding.
Yeah. Again, I still like the V2 and the V3 more, but V4's alright.
I'm just joking. Relax.
Yeah.
What were what are some of your like favorite ones you've done recently?
Yeah. Probably collabing with, again, Jake, the guy that runs 250k weeks. Like, it was so interesting to hear from him. Just because it's so different to what any Australian would do, right? Like, I think he went on the Inside Running podcast, and even the hosts there were like, if you tell an Australian that you're running 250k weeks, like, they'll be mesmerized. Like, we, like, the people that do the most are like Ed Goddard, who does like 180, 190. But yeah, you struggle to find someone that does more than Ed in terms of mileage in Australia, I think.
Yeah.
Unless they're doing some ridiculous ultra, I guess. Yeah.
Well,
do you know many people that do like more than 180k a week?
Not really. Yeah. Like
especially for road, because we're talking about road runners.
Yeah. I don't know. The trail guys don't do heaps. I guess it's more like elevation.
Yeah.
Like they might spend a lot more hours on their running. But
I want you guys to get Joey McGrath on the podcast. I'd love to hear his training. Like, he's a gun runner, and sometimes he goes private on Strava. But I want to learn more from him, you know, because he's a great runner. So I think there's a lot to learn from him. Yeah,
definitely.
Again, my inspiration from Bondi Manly is Dom and Joey from last year. Like 6 hours 18 and 6 hours 20 is very quick. Like because I've run 6 hours 34 now, like I know how hard it is to run that quick. And I still think 618, 620 is a completely different league to 634. And while I see myself getting there one day, like I have to put in a lot of work to get there. Lots of mileage, lots more years of running as well.
I don't know, maybe
it's a few.
A couple more months.
Might surprise yourself.
Really?
Yeah. Like
you only got to tweak. Actually, I'm not an ultra expert.
You had like maybe like 3 or 4 weeks that were actually kind of proper.
Yeah, I guess.
If you had like a proper block and really focused on it, I'm sure you could.
Yeah. maybe less crazy weeks, but like just more consistent.
Yeah,
you
more
know?
consistent. And
So
like,
I don't have to do 140 Ks, but more like 120, 110 even, but
Yeah.
more elevation.
yeah, and just getting a bit more specific.
More
and
trail, yeah.
Keeping that,
Yeah.
like for a full
Yeah.
block, you'd be good to go. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I'm not fussed if I don't necessarily like come first or second or even third this year. Like if I don't, at the end of the day, like got plenty of years ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna peak in the ultra for another 10, 15 years. So
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
as long as I stay in for the long term, like there's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And if anything, I should worry about the 5K
Yeah.
before I lose the speed. Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So that's why I want to do the 5Ks. Yeah, I need to tick off that sub 15 goal, like life goal. One
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Me too. Far out.
Yeah.
One day.
Yeah. We got to do it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't count me in the sub 15.
No, you will. You will. I think all of us can, surely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Potentially.
But
You guys,
again,
yeah.
if I do 14:59, I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't want to
after
get
that.
any faster. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
job
yeah,
done.
yeah.
I couldn't care less
Tick it
about
off 100%.
14:10 or anything like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
14:59 is good enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I need for trail, you know?
So the
Like,
jump to get from like 14 to 13. Sounds
Yeah,
like crazy.
It's
Yeah.
like next level.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's some professional stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, just building a bit more leeway for the trail. Yeah. Because I think to be good in the trail nowadays, you have to have a good 5K as well, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting to that stage where the trail runners are getting very quick. Yeah. I think I heard of a guy called Vlad Ixel. Who,
Oh, yeah, he's really
who's
good.
done like a sub 15.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's getting competitive.
But I think it depends what type of trail running you're doing.
True.
Like if you're doing 100 milers, like
Yeah.
it's a bit less relevant.
But Bondi Valley.
Well, not around yeah.
You got to be quick for Bondi Valley. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well, it shows, right? Because I think the guys that place well in that are roughly 2:30 in the marathon.
Yeah.
Roughly 15 mid or 15 low in the 5K.
True. Yeah.
So I guess from that you can kind of tell what sort of level you have to be at.
Yeah.
To be good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's all interesting. Yeah.
Sure.
I think like trail running, there is definitely like a bit of a learning curve, and you've kind of gotten
Yeah.
a good grip on that. Like you've learnt
Yeah.
about nutrition.
Nutrition's huge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you've learned about like training for specifically for the race, like
Yeah.
the vertical and all
Makes a
that.
huge difference.
Yeah, so I think
Completely different training from road.
yeah, and it like the only way you can really kind of get that is through experience, and you've got that experience now, so you're
Yeah.
definitely on the right track to start
Yeah.
crushing some races.
Every race is a learning experience, right? Or
Yeah.
even run or time trial. So you kind of learn a bit every time and get better. Yeah. I think I want to improve a bit more in the race day, like right before the race prep as well. Yeah, just like I wake up and I don't know what I'm doing, you know, like I don't know what I want to eat and all that sort of stuff. But I think I should have a plan for the hours leading up to it. Like wake up 3 hours before, have this 2.5 hours before, and that sort of stuff. Like that's another thing I want to work on for future races, especially for ultras. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else?
Is that all?
Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, not really.
No?
I think that's everything.
What about the Olympics?
Oh,
We can't have a podcast episode and not talk about the Olympics.
All right, Dom, over to you.
Sota, what are your thoughts? Have you got
Yeah.
so
On the Olympic team or?
yeah? Well, I guess the Olympic team like
Yeah.
last minute change with Andy Buchanan.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
to be honest, I don't know too much about the marathon. So my knowledge in terms of those runners aren't that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, more on the like track side of things. I'm surprised that they didn't like just put Cam Myers in the 1500 team and move Stewie up to the 5K. 'Cause-
Yeah.
Well, I know Stewie's doing both, but Stewie could have just focused on the 5K. Cam does the 1500.
Yeah.
More stacked team, you know. Like
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think that would have made more sense, but yeah. Apart from that, like I think.
But Stewie did have a couple of good runs recently.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
Shows
Yeah.
he's in form.
Yeah.
He beat Cam. So
Yeah, true. Yeah, Stewie can always perform on the day, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
nice to give Cam a run like he's.
Yeah,
Such
because he
talent.
has had a good, year.
Yeah.
But I think he peaked a little bit too early, maybe, and I think he would have learned a lot from this season. Because when he did the Sydney Track Classic and won the 3K champs,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like the national 3K title, that's huge.
Yeah.
And obviously he ran like 2 Olympic qualifiers, like earlier in the year as well, right? Like in Bagstand as well, beat Jake Whiteman. Like that era was huge.
Yeah.
And that's when everyone started talking about how, like, you know, he could even do well in the final of the Olympics. So, yeah, like, I think it's been a tough period for him to, like, carry that fitness on for that long. Yeah. But it's not that he's performing badly. He's still doing very well.
No,
but,
he's still killing it, yeah.
Again, he's young, so he's going to learn more about, like, how to race at the right time and all that sort of stuff, I guess. Yeah, bit unfortunate timing, but
I reckon,
he's got a huge future.
Yeah. Everyone's sleeping on Ollie Hall, I reckon. I reckon he's going to do really well.
Yeah, well, he did well at London, right? Very recently.
He did, yeah.
A couple of days ago. He won that race,
Yeah, well, there you go, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he'll do well as well.
Same as, like, I reckon Morgan McDonald could be a bit of a dark horse. Like, when he was back in college, he was dominating. Like, he'd win every cross-country race.
Yeah.
And I think now he's, like, fit again. Wouldn't be surprised if he got a medal.
Yeah. No one knows about all this because it's so long ago now. But, like, he was so good in college. Like, Grant Fisher, like, American record holder in a lot of events. Yeah, Morgan used to destroy him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I reckon, like, if it was 1 lap to go and Morgan was there, like, he'd be guaranteed to win. And even in Australia, there was, like, one race where he beat Stewie and, like, a few other huge names, like Pat Tiernan and Jack Rayner and stuff, I think. There was a 5K. I forgot which race it was, but, yeah, he has a really good kick.
He's been pretty unlucky with, like, injuries and stuff, though.
Yeah.
So...
A few, like, say, stupid injuries. I feel bad to say, but, yeah, like, slipping off skateboards and stuff like that.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, so... Yeah, if he just stays injury free, he's really
Yeah. And if that's
course.
that's been like the biggest trouble. He just gets injured so much and hasn't been able to train consistent.
Yeah.
But now he ran like 13 flat and
he'll do well.
Seems like he's been training well, so I reckon he could be a chance. Yeah. Although it's like bloody hard to medal in a 5K.
Yeah. It's just so stacked nowadays.
Yeah, but I reckon he'll probably run better than Stewie, I reckon.
Okay, yeah.
Who else? Any big calls we're making?
I don't know.
Jess Hull?
Yeah, I mean, good run, very good run.
Yeah.
Huge jump of the national record, so I don't think that's going to go down for a while.
Yeah, far out. That's nuts. Yeah.
Like, I reckon she would struggle to beat that as well for a while, you know? Like, I think everything aligned perfectly on that day.
Yeah. A lot of like pressure on her now, though. Like everyone's talking about her.
Yeah,
so.
true, for sure. Yeah.
Could be tough to deal with.
I feel like she's always had a lot of pressure though.
True,
I think she is good at handling it. Yeah. So I think she'll be fine. Yeah, I feel like. But what about like the 800? I think the 800 was always going to be a tough team. Yeah.
I think like
between Bissett and Boya.
Or for the women's 800. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I guess Megs as well, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking like
because Luke Boyd's
missing out.
Won.
Yeah. But I think he just like wasn't quite in the rankings at the end of it.
But Peyton Craig's obviously run well after that.
He's had a great season.
Well. Yeah.
And now...
Well, he's been consistent, most importantly.
Yeah, I think Deng's proved his fit, so he's good to go. And then Peter Bowl, he's going right too. Yeah.
And then in the women's side, Claudia Hollingsworth, obviously really dominant. Yeah, I want to see her do well, because, again, another young talent, it'll be so cool to see someone that young.
Yeah, she's had some great races as well, but, a bit hit and miss sometimes, but I think, hopefully she...
Yeah.
I love, seeing her.
Feeling good on the day, she's very competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Anything to add, Luke?
I was hoping no one was going to say anything. I pretty much just go invisible for a little bit.
To be fair, apart from the 8 and 15, I don't actually know too much. Yeah.
Yeah. I think who's is it the girl doubling Lauren Ryan in the 5K 10K, I think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon that 10K national record, Rose Davies would challenge it pretty well as well if she tries the 10K.
Yeah.
Because Rose Davies used to do a lot of 10K. She
was really good.
The Zatopek 10K title holder a couple times, I think.
Yeah.
So now with her 14:41 5K.
Seems like all those times have just gotten nuts. Within a year, they've gone from running 15:10 to 14.
There's a few Aussie ladies. This is for Luke. I'm looking at Luke right now for those tuning into audio. But yeah, there's a few Aussie ladies smashing the 15-minute barrier
Yeah.
in the 5K.
Yeah, right.
And we've never seen anything like this. Like before, it was just Jess Hall.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the previous record holder, I forgot her name.
Was it Benita Willis?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It was just those two, but now
Yeah,
like
right.
sub 15 is the new standard that Aussies have to hit.
Yeah.
To be competitive. Yeah.
I think Jenny Blundell missed out because Lauren Ryan's doubling, which is a bit sad as
Yeah.
well. But
There's another young athlete called Amy Buddage who's in Stanford right now, but I think she might have done 14:57 or something on
Really?
a 300-meter track.
huh?
I think it was in Washington. Like there's one random track in the US next 300 meters.
Yeah.
But because that wasn't on a 400 or 200 track, it's not really official. But yeah, she's done a sub 15 as well.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's a lot of talent right now in the women's 5K.
The women's running in general, like the marathon
Yeah,
team.
true.
The
The marathon team was
Yeah.
huge as well. Yeah.
But yeah, I think like the Australian athletics team's like probably the best it's ever been.
I think so,
Yeah, I was looking at like the swimming, like they have a couple of decent people, but like the athletics in like the field events as well, like the high jump with the girls there and Nina Kennedy in the pole vault. Like, yeah, we're definitely going to pick up a couple of medals.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Mm.
I think I only know this because there's this athlete called Kingsley Little. I don't know if you've heard of
Oh,
her.
yeah,
but
the thrower, yeah.
Javelin thrower. She competed in Japan once, and when I was in Japan last year, I went to a track meet, and she happened to be there.
Oh, no way.
And obviously, like, it was cool seeing an Aussie there, you know? But
Yeah.
she won that as well, that event, and it was like a Grand Prix series or something, some huge thing. And she's been throwing well this year as well. I started following her after seeing her.
Yeah, I think she's like ranked
well.
1 or 2 in the world.
Exactly, yeah. So I think she'll definitely medal as well,
Yeah.
from the looks of it.
Yeah.
And she recently got a PB like a week or two ago, so she's in like top shape right now.
Yeah. No,
so
it's-
another medal there, I reckon.
Yeah.
Like
Looking forward to
silver or gold, I reckon. We're talking, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
That's,
exciting.
Yeah.
Educational segment.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Dom and I need to start commentating for athletics.
Yeah. Segment.
Sounds
Yeah.
like it.
I love getting geeky on this sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
Especially in New South Wales, I was at one stage a few years ago, like I can't do this anymore, but at one stage I remembered like the top 3 of all the state 3K, state 5K, state 10K and all that.
Oh, really? Yeah,
for a while.
right.
And like all their accolades and roughly their PBs and all that.
Yeah.
So I reckon I could have done a decent job at commentating back then for New South Wales athletics events. But yeah, not anymore. I stopped following. Now I'm more like following the global stage and the national stage. But
We'll have to call you in, like on the phone, when Dom does his Olympic section. Like, all right, I'm just gonna take a little break. We've got
Just
soda
replace
coming
Luke.
in. Yeah.
second half of the pod, kick Luke out.
Yeah.
Turn it into a
I think
Zoom call.
I think the
Yeah.
listeners will appreciate that. But anyway,
And
Yeah.
the Sydney Harbour team.
Yeah.
Did we touch on that much?
Oh yeah, we can briefly touch on it. I think Ed won. Tom came second.
Yeah. Bit windy though. Like the times didn't look super.
Yeah, Ed didn't tell me what time he ran, but he said it
Yeah.
was probably a bit slower than previous years. I
Yeah.
think,
Looked like it was like 30:01.
Okay,
Or 30:02. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, because 4 of them are capable of
Sub 30.
going sub 30.
Yeah.
Or even 5. But Kieran Toll's coming back from like a 2-year long injury.
Yeah. How did he go?
He's
He's up there?
He told me he's doing well because he's closing the gap between him and the front guys now.
That's good. Yeah.
Because at Sydney 10, it was like maybe 1 or 2 minutes behind. But
Right.
he's closed it down to like 35 seconds behind. them.
yeah,
Wow.
nice.
So-
That's good
That's
to see.
awesome.
Yeah, he'll be
yeah.
back soon.
He was such a beast. Like he
Yeah.
used to just be off the front of
He
everyone.
was
like,
dominant,
yeah.
like 3K champ, 5K champ, but he won Sydney 10 as well on the road.
Yeah.
So
He'll
like,
get back there.
pretty versatile. Yeah.
And I reckon he'll be one to watch
Yeah.
for the next like year.
Sure.
Then yeah.
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 Because he had a pretty. What was his injury again? Do you remember?
Something in the calf. Yeah, but
Because he had surgery and.
he had to take a bit of his muscle belly out as well.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, technically he has a bit less muscle in his legs. So
Yeah, right.
he's
So
at a
it's pretty
disadvantage
bad.
but still running like
Yeah, far
super
out.
well
Yeah.
now. Yeah, but it was a serious injury apparently. But also, I think it was also something to do with the blood vessels
Huh.
around the calf region.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so quite serious. Yeah,
And Leanne Pompiani.
yeah. I think she ran well.
It
yeah.
looked like I think she won by like a minute or something.
Yeah,
Pretty dominant. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, someone told me, like, she was the only one who ran well today in terms of time, like a really good time.
Yeah, I think she was like 32, mid 32s,
Yeah.
which is pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, congrats to
But
her.
she's super fit. Like, yeah, kind of shame she didn't go to the Olympics as well. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think she did struggle with a bit of hamstring injury recently. I think
Oh,
James
right.
Constantine told me, but
Yeah. Okay.
before that, she was like running 31-minute 10Ks and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
She's a gun. Yeah.
yeah, very competitive. I'd be scared to toe the line with her.
Yeah.
like she'll destroy me. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, right.
very quick.
Where were you taking photos?
Oh, just the start and finish. Just because I'm sore a bit, so
Yeah,
I didn't want to
yeah.
walk around too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually I'd be running around, as you know,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get photos.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
yeah, had to stick with the start and finish line today. Yeah. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's about it.
Do you want to create another segment?
How long was the episode? Is it long?
We'll find out. I don't have a
I think it's pretty long.
time.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's
It's been
good.
good chat.
Long, but
Yeah,
it's good,
yeah.
yeah.
It's always
Yeah.
good to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon you'll get to 10, 10 Chiefs episodes at some point.
Yeah, we have to. yeah. But yeah, congrats in advance on the 100 episodes. I think we're 2
Oh, yeah.
episodes away or something.
Yeah. Two away. Yeah.
Yep.
So this one's 98, next one's 99.
Yeah.
Next
100
the big 100.
Party
We're
time.
going to
Yeah.
figure out what we're going to do for 100.
Better be
It's been
special.
a while. Yeah.
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 What's some brainstorming for episode 100?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe recap some of the best advice we've gotten from guests over
Oh,
the
okay.
100
Oh, yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
You can recall.
Yeah. We'll have
We're
to
just
go
gonna-
track back.
The Sota Maehara episode.
Yeah.
Just pulling up quotes from Sota.
Or just get like a compilation of Dom pronouncing names and stuff, you know? Like, that might be good.
Yeah. I like the sound of that.
Jerome Deputy, Sota Maehara.
No, it was Maharara.
Maharara, yeah. Just compile everything.
What's another clanger there's been?
Have there been some others?
Oh, it's
I mean, yeah, play.
I remember the intro when I introduced Soda and I was like, getting you to pronounce it. You're like, no, go on, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, just recap a bit of the best parts from every episode or something.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
a bit from every 5 episodes or something, you know?
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
Cool.
well, it's been good. Thanks for joining
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
again, and well done on your
Yeah,
race.
awesome run. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we see you back
Yeah.
for Bondi and Manly.
Yeah. And not to get too pluggy, but I guess I'm going to get you two on my podcast again at some point. Maybe while I'm in
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
So we
Cool.
can keep in touch over the podcast.
Yeah.
Wave Running Podcast. Everyone
Yeah,
follow.
Wave
Yeah,
Running
Wave Running
Podcast. Get around
Podcast.
it.
And Sota Maehara on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Sota Maehara running.
Running on YouTube, but
Don't got it
I
right.
don't think
Don't expect
I
me
think
to.
you might be not getting the bulk of it. Yeah, you got me, Dom. Running.
Yeah.
I don't think you're getting the bulk of subscribers through our channel, but plug you anyway.
No, I feel like you guys have the loyal listeners, you know? Like, people
Yeah.
who listen to you guys are really loyal.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Cool.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.